Hey everyone, and welcome to the cafe at the end of the universe, where it is only us two. Us two, meaning myself being Connor, and I'm here with my lovely fiance Sydney, and we are both the hosts of this podcast.
Are you the host and I'm the co-host, or am I the host and you're the co-host?
I mean, we both take turns, I guess.
Are we both
I mean, we're both gonna have different topics each time.
co-hosts?
I also thought it would be
There's no host, guys.
there's no host.
Just co-host.
Just co-hosts. I also thought it would be really fun to, well, I don't have it this time since it's just the pilot, but to each time that we start to have a different drink each time, like a different hot beverage or something like different kinds of tea,
I like
coffee.
That. I can make that. I can do
Yeah,
that.
I know, and that's
oh my
why
gosh, I love doing that.
I thought that would be
Oh my
really
God.
nice.
And we can tell the audience what we're drinking and make them super jealous.
yeah. But yeah, I mean,
Can you hear yourself through your headphones right
Yeah.
now? Oh, is that not confusing?
no,
Okay.
I wouldn't be wearing them right now
Okay.
if it was if I was,
Well, why do you need to
my
hear
voice
yourself?
was too, so then I know that the audio sounds fine. I hear you too,
Okay. But if you know that it sounds fine, why do you need to keep them on?
so that just in case something does happen,
Oh.
just to listen to it.
Okay. What's the topic?
So, yeah, let me explain a little bit what this is going to be first. So, each episode is going to be a little bit different, hopefully. We're both going to bring topics to each episode. Today I'm bringing the topic. And next time, I don't know if we'll do this once a month, once a week. I'll figure it out.
I don't know if I could do once a week.
So then, I
I
mean,
could do maybe once every other week.
that could work. I mean,
Okay.
that could
I'll
also
try to
change.
I'll try to make my my topics as out of pocket as possible.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But we might have games for each other that we want to play.
Oh.
We might just want to have a normal conversation, be kind of selfish and talk about ourselves maybe.
I love
Or-
talking about myself. I know so much about it. It's the one thing that I know most about. It's yeah.
But I thought, just to get to know us a little bit better, I thought it would be a kind of fun topic to talk about, kind of just mental health and mental illnesses, just in general.
Those are fun.
Yeah, because for those who don't know, I myself have been diagnosed with ADHD. Sydney has been diagnosed with autism.
I've also
so-
been diagnosed with ADHD.
Yeah,
And I have the what did he call it? Antonio. What he said. What did he call it?
is it
Oh
a
my God.
type of ADHD?
No. No, like when you have both ADHD and autism, you have like the.
Well, that's why.
Did
I
he say?
have-
No. Don't
You
search
don't
it
want
up
me to
because
look
it
it
was
up?
a funny joke, and now I'm trying to remember what it was. It was like buy one get one free, or like It's like the combo pack. I have the yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes
I have
sense.
the combo pack. I have the Happy Meal of diagnoses.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's fun.
I have ADHD and autism and generalized anxiety disorder, which I did not know I was diagnosed with until I got diagnosed with autism, and they gave me my diagnostic papers, and I looked over it, and at the last page, and it was like a fun little surprise to see that I was diagnosed with
Yeah,
something I didn't even know I was diagnosed with.
It's
Cool.
fun to know that you're gonna have that thing for the rest of your life.
I just wish I would have been told. That would have been nice.
Yeah.
Instead of having somebody to just write it down in my chart and then never tell me.
Yeah, you're gonna have panic attacks really often.
Yeah.
But
I'm
don't
not.
tell the
But I'm
patient
not going to
that.
tell you.
But I'm not gonna tell you. But yeah, I think it would just be really fun, and just informational for people who, because a lot of people, at least now in today's times, because we've had some incredible advancements in medicine and mental health kind of stuff. Just to talk about our experiences with ADHD, autism. I myself, I don't think I've ever been diagnosed with any anxiety problems. I also haven't noticed anything that would show that.
I don't. I don't see you struggling with anxiety a whole
Yeah,
lot.
I've definitely had anxiety attacks before. I've
yes.
never had a panic attack
Yes.
before.
When
I know
it's like
you
when it's
have.
like an ongoing thing for more than 2 weeks, I think that's the threshold. If it
Yeah.
like hinders your life consistently for over 2 weeks, then it's time to seek a diagnosis. But like if it's just a once in a blue moon kind of thing, it's very likely that it's just a product of something else and not generalized anxiety, not GAD. I love that acronym, GAD. It's so fun. It might be a part of your ADHD, and if you have autism, which I think that you might.
Yeah, that was another thing. I do eventually want to get tested to see if I have autism, because I've noticed some of those things.
Well, join the wait list now.
Uh,
'Cause- and
Yeah,
if you're lucky,
millions of people.
Yeah, if you're lucky, you'll get in and
8 years or
yeah.
something. But I mean, we both have had very kind of different experiences with, and I don't know how comfortable you are talking about it, but you've definitely had some pretty severe mental issues in the past.
Yeah.
And obviously, I mean, if you're not comfortable, you don't have to talk about it. But
Well, I mean, I can choose which information to disseminate
yeah,
and
that's
what not to. I can be vague if I need to.
but this could be a very serious episode, or this could be just us talking about,
I feel like I've told the same stories over and over again that at this point I've exhausted all of the, or at least most of the pain that I feel thinking back on it, and I'm finally at the point where I can look back on it and joke about it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's a good thing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can look back and at all the kind of stupid shit that you did, whether you knew that it was stupid or not, and just kind of laugh at
Or
it.
at the
I feel
very
like that's
least, I can kind of talk about it nonchalantly now, and it's not like
yeah.
I don't feel overwhelmed with emotion whenever I bring it up, which is also good.
Yeah. But yeah, I know that a lot of people these days are struggling with things like ADHD, especially since recently, for a few months now, there has been a shortage of the specific medicine that I take for mine,
I think you said you take
methylphenidate.
methylphenidate,
Yeah.
which would be like Ritalin.
Yes,
But I don't
that's-
know if you take Ritalin specifically. I just that's
When-
the active ingredient.
When I
in
went
Ritalin.
to do everything with my new doctor, he had said that methylphenidate was a type of Ritalin. So I don't think it's just.
Does he mean that Ritalin is a type of methylphenidate, or
I'm not sure.
because Ritalin is the brand name, and then methylphenidate is the active ingredient. Methylphenidate is methylphenidate. There's not different types of it. Methylphenidate is or is not what it is.
then I'm not entirely sure then.
I don't know.
Okay. Well, I don't really have a place to start. I mean, is there
I mean,
a place
you pick the topic. You go first.
I feel like that's a bit unfair.
How is that unfair? I didn't know what the topic was until you brought it up.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, exactly. Floor's yours.
Take it. Take the floor.
Take it.
Take all of it.
Take it with you. Pull up
Put
the
it, but
pull up
put
the
it,
floorboards.
put a brand new one
Yeah.
in, please. Thank you. I guess I can start with kind of my general experience with ADHD. I haven't. I guess I have some issues with it, I guess kind of the main one is that I think it's a symptom of ADHD. I don't really remember a lot of my childhood. Um, Even the things that are like big moments that I should remember, I don't remember all the details in them.
I
I'm
mean,
like I just remember that they happened.
when you think back to your childhood, what would you say most of what you remember is pleasant or unpleasant? Because when I think back to my childhood, it's very difficult for me to think of like good moments
Yeah,
in my life.
I can
And I
understand
can,
that,
it's
especially
very
what
easy.
you've been through.
It's very easy to think of all the bad stuff that happened because that had a bigger effect on me and a more profound effect on me than any of the good things that happened.
Yeah.
And it kind of overshadowed those things. I mean, they still happened. Good things still happened.
Yeah,
But
like you said, it's
yeah.
hard to
Your-
think about all the good
yeah,
things
your
when
your brain is wired to hyper focus on the bad stuff that happens to it because it has a stake in protecting you from those things going forward. So it is very beneficial to remember those things and to think about them all the time so that you don't encounter those things in the future to protect you. And that's all well and good for our ancient ancestors who lived in caves. But I live in 2024, and I don't want to think about the time that I was at an elementary school talent show and I completely forgot the lyrics to the song I was singing, and the other person I was on stage with fucked me up, and so I lost the lyrics too, and then we were both just staring at each other like, what do we do now? And the music's playing in the background, and I got off stage and everyone thought that it was a comedy act, and it just made me feel worse because they were so genuine because they were like, that was so funny, and I was like, it wasn't supposed to be. It wasn't supposed to be. But I don't, it's so, I hate that my brain still does that, where it's like, I want to protect you from these things by recalling them all the time. And it's like, we don't need to do that all the time, do we? We don't need to think about every single little thing that happens, right? Right?
Yeah,
We have a lot of leftover unnecessary brain functions from our ancestors that served them very well and don't serve us very well at all. It's wonderful.
yeah, the human brain is weird. I mean,
It's
that's
a complicated place, yes.
yeah. I mean, I definitely, yeah, I definitely have issues with short-term and long-term memory.
Oh, I do too. That's definitely an ADHD thing, processing information and
Yeah.
retaining it. Because it's not it's not really that you have a problem with retaining it. It's just processing it in the first place. It literally, figuratively goes in one ear and out the other. So you don't have dementia.
Well, I hope not.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Because, dementia is when you process the information and then all of a sudden one day you can't remember it. And then ADHD is when you never processed it in the first place.
Yeah.
So you literally can't remember it. Is you didn't compartmentalize it to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've also kind of discovered that I have, especially with what happened recently, a kind of eating problem with my ADHD. Not like I don't eat, but I overeat. I eat too much.
How long have you been taking medication for your ADHD?
I think definitely from when I was young. So for a while now.
How many years would you say?
I have no clue. More than 10. I think more than 10, I think.
So, one of the main symptoms with ADHD medication is that it suppresses your appetite, right?
Yes, yeah.
And I know, because I took Vyvanse, and it did the same thing with me, even though it wasn't. Vyvanse isn't a stimulant, but it still suppresses your appetite. So when you go so many years essentially taking an appetite suppressant I mean, that's not the only function, obviously, but essentially taking an appetite suppressant, you start taking that medication less and less, your body goes through this process where it's trying to relearn how to eat intuitively, kind of, or I think you've been taking it for so long that it might be difficult for you to figure out when and where and what your hunger cues are.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, when you've been relying on a medication that doesn't make you do that for so many years, and then you stop taking it, then your brain and your body's like, okay, well, what the fuck do I do now?
Yeah, because it's not like that I'm hungry or anything. I just feel like I need to eat.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just not good.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really like it. But I mean, it's just I'm gonna have to learn.
Yeah. It'll get better. I mean, it's just one of those things that you have to get used to. And knowing, because everybody's hunger signals are different, and they feel different. And sometimes it's very obvious to people when they're hungry and when they're full, and other times it's very difficult to tell when you're hungry or when you're full. And you'll just have to kind of, through trial and error, yeah.
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 Yeah, well, medication is also a very big thing when it comes to, I mean, there's no medication for autism.
No.
Despite what
I hope not.
Despite what people who believe in herbs and teas say.
Take this treat. I gave my child tea tree oil for 6 months, and
I
it
did
cured
not
my
vaccinate my child because
and it cured their autism. That is
like,
to
no,
say they're dead now.
No, Sharon. Your
It's
child
like-
just doesn't like you.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, if you keep feeding your kid all of these supplements and not vaccinating them, you'll cure their autism, all right. Oh, you'll cure it real good.
You'll cure the
Ooh.
autism.
Mm-hmm.
That's a topic for some
Yeah.
time else.
I have a lot of beef with Autism Speaks. I have
Oh.
so much to say. So very much. For another time.
For another time. But yeah, I've been on quite a few different medications. Because I was diagnosed with ADHD when they were still trying to figure out what it was. Back in, I was born in 2003.
Yeah. And when did you get diagnosed?
I have no clue.
Oh. I mean, when
that's
did you start taking medication for it? Because that's about the time that they would have.
I don't remember.
Were you in elementary school?
Maybe?
Okay. So then you probably would have. I think that was before. Because we're on the DSM-5 right now.
You could
The Diagnostic Statistical Manual, or whatever the fuck it stands for. And that was back when ADD was still a separate thing from ADHD.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
they
that's-
are not. They're not separate things. They're the same disorder. They're the same condition, just two different presentations of the same
Yeah.
neurotype. Like the same shit is going up in there. It's just it looks different.
Correct.
So there's instead of ADD, it's ADHD inattentive type, or there's ADHD hyperactive type, and then there's ADHD combination type, which is what I have.
I
And
have hyperactive.
I know you do.
I
know you do.
Another thing that I do when I'm not medicated is I talk a lot.
I like when you talk a lot.
I know you do, but sometimes I when I don't medicate, sometimes I just want to relax, but I can't
Yeah.
because it's my brain. It's like so many things.
Running a mile a minute.
Running a mile a minute. That
Yeah.
it's running a mile but not going anywhere is
Yeah.
what happens.
Yeah.
And to me, and it's
It's like running a mile but in a circle.
yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
not going
In
anywhere.
circles,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's
That's great.
yeah, it's kind of a struggle because I've been trying. I want to eventually, because medication is extremely expensive, to try and one day be able to go on with my life being not medicated. But I feel like I've been on medication for such a long period in my life that it can be difficult to do that. I mean, it's a learning process.
It's difficult to come off of anything when you've been on it for so long.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
not that I have no experience with being addicted to any substances.
Well, no, I mean you're not addicted. I mean,
no, correct.
but,
I mean, like,
if
it's
anything,
the same.
you forget to take it. So
Correct. But yeah, I mean, I'm not speaking from experience when I say that I believe that kind of thing is the same for people who have drug problems or problems with alcoholism and things like that.
But I mean, so much of how you function is dependent on taking a pill, and you've grown so used to that and so comfortable with that over so many years. I'm not saying that it's difficult in the sense that you're addicted or that it would be difficult to separate yourself from that addiction because you're not addicted, but that you've still kind of grown a dependence to it, and so it would still be on some level difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because you have like the complete shift. My medication also, and apparently I'm not the only one, not with just this type of medication, but just with a lot of ADHD medications in general, that I get very agitated kind of easily when I'm medicated.
When you take it?
Yeah.
That's a common symptom.
Yeah, and I've only recently learned that a
Yeah.
lot of other people also kind of experience that, just that kind of medicated frustration.
Yeah.
I
I think it happens more often the longer you take it. Because most people who take ADHD medication, and I mean it depends on the medication, right? Because not all ADHD meds are created equal. But most people aren't on it and they go off it once they're in their adulthood. They don't take it for the rest of their life. Or at least they'll take it like as needed when like they're at work, if they work.
Yeah.
Well, especially ADHD people who work like office jobs and stuff. Godspeed to you people. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Jeez.
If you have ADHD, if you had unregulated ADHD and can go into an office job without taking medication,
Work a 9 to 5, sitting at a desk all
my
day
God,
and do tons of paperwork.
teach me.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Well, just because they're doing it doesn't mean they're doing it well. I mean,
Very true. Very true. I've been. I think I've had 3 or 4 types of medication. I used to do the patches Do you remember? Do you know about that?
I know that some medications come in patch form. I didn't know that
So yeah, I
ADHD
mean, like
meds
the
came in
main,
form
the
of-
main, I think one that people would think of would be smoking patches,
Yeah.
right?
Nicotine patches.
Yeah, yes, nicotine patches.
Yeah.
But I remember when I was a kid, and I think that was my medication, quotes in
Yeah.
medication, was that it would always go right here, and everybody listening, I am kind of, it's kind of where the hip is down and then to the right on my right side.
Yeah,
It's
so
kind
like
of
right-
next to the, it's kind of,
like right-
it's on one of the cheeks. It's,
Is it your gluteus maximus?
can say ass. I mean,
Oh, that's where it is
but not like,
in scientific terms.
but it's like on this, like on the
Your
side.
glutes.
But that's where it went. Did you not know that ADHD, that kind of medication existed?
I mean, it makes sense now that you say it, but I know because I've never taken it. In that
How does
form.
that? Do you know how that stuff works, especially with nicotine? It's because it's like,
So,
how can
if you
something that
look-
just sticks to your
If
body?
you look at the epidermis on a microscopic level, like if you take a chunk out of it and you look at it, those there's multiple layers to the epidermis, and there's pores in your skin, right? How do you think you sweat?
yeah,
If things can go out, things can go in. You have sweat glands, and those. Sorry, I'm buffering. So, if your skin is absorbent,
yeah,
yeah, your skin is not a completely, you know, airtight layer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is airtight, but I mean, things can still, if the molecules are small enough, they can still find their way through your skin. That's why they tell you not to draw on your skin with Sharpie, or else you might get sick.
Really?
That is true, because the ink can absorb into your body through your pores, and it's not good for you at all. It's toxic.
but the smell,
The smell. The smell.
the smell.
But
I definitely huffed a lot of Sharpies as a kid.
I'm sure
I
you
mean-
did.
Hey now.
But oh gosh, the skin is so cool. It's my favorite organ in the body. And so is the brain, because the brain is just equally as interesting. But
That's what we're talking about.
But the epidermis is so cool. Go learn about skin. Please go do yourself.
Do you have skin? Go learn about it.
do yourself a favor. Learn about your skin. You see it every day. You use it every day. It protects all of your other organs. It's your first line of defense against literally everything. Skin is cool, and you should get to know it better. Take it out on a date. Ask it. Ask, take it out for drinks. Go on a movie date with your skin. Ask it whether it wants children in the future. Ask it what it would name its kids if hypothetically.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those topics where you talk a lot more than I do, because you're just more knowledgeable with this kind of stuff than I am. Just
I love
with
the brain.
Well, yeah, I mean it's very cool. It's very interesting that that we just have these things that are up there, and once you remove it, you technically don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
It's just cool stuff, and I just want to talk about it. But yeah, I don't remember the other medications I was on.
So methylphenidate isn't the only medication you've been
Correct.
on?
That one.
Were you on
is-
Adderall at any point?
That's a question that I would have to ask my dad.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure. I feel like he would.
He would
more-
remember.
Yeah, or
Okay.
at least know more about that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And maybe we'll have him as a guest on this. I definitely want to have
Oh,
guests.
that'd be cool. I want
I
your
definitely-
dad as a celebrity guest. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, definitely. One of the first guests that I'd want to have is as talking more seriously on mental health, because I feel like this episode is just gonna be like, again, just a pilot episode, kind of getting to know us better, and just
You get
know,
to see the inner reaches of my mind.
yeah,
Yeah, you get to pry deep into my psyche and learn all of my deepest secrets. Welcome to the
Yes.
podcast.
to have Xander on, because I'm hoping that he's willing to, kind of talk about those kind of mental health things, because it's good to get those kinds of things out there.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, we're only 20 years old. We've not experienced a lot of life.
I mean, we've experienced, on average, if we're going by the average lifespan of a human being, we've experienced 1/4 of it.
That's kind of scary.
It is.
That's
When I
kind of
put
scary
when
to
you
think
put it
about.
into perspective, I hate it.
It's like, yeah, I mean, that whole part of your life that you've experienced, well, not like is gone, yes, but not really. I mean, like, you still have memories of it and stuff. That's weird. That's weird to think about.
Yeah.
That's
Whoops,
wow.
sorry. If you're 20 years old, you've lived 1/4 of your life already.
Yeah. But yeah, mental health is a pretty serious thing, especially nowadays with, the internet and TikTok and things like that.
I love how the internet and TikTok are two separate entities.
Oh, I have my my hatred for TikTok.
Well, that'll be another episode.
Yes, where I just rant the whole time about how much I hate TikTok.
Yeah, I'll be here too. I just won't say anything.
Yeah, you just go the whole time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Agreed.
Yep.
That is correct.
I concur.
If you said, what medication were you on? Were you on many or just one?
I was on They put me on Vyvanse.
What exactly is?
Vyvanse is. Where's my phone?
I have.
Oh.
What?
What's the? Look up what the active ingredient in Vyvanse is.
The active ingredient in. How do you spell that?
VYV.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus.
So lisdexamphetamine, dimesylate. The main ingredient in Vyvanse is lisdexamphetamine
How can you
dimesylate,
read that?
which itself.
Oh, you're studying.
I
You were
took-
a studying nurse.
Yeah,
weren't you?
I took medical terminology.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which itself is not active. Such medicines are sometimes called a prodrug. After Vyvanse is taken, is converted in the blood to dexamphetamine, which is the active medicine. So dexamphetamine, which is, I believe, is a depressant and not a stimulant.
That is
Yeah.
really
So when
different.
I was on it, and I'll get into this later, or I'll delve into this a little more later, but just for Vyvanse's sake. When I was taking it, that was the depths of my eating disorder. And looking back, I have no idea why they would put me on a depressant when they knew that I was already depressed, because I let them know. I was like, well, they took my weight and they were like, hey, you're dangerously underweight. And if you come back to my office next time and you're still underweight and your weight hasn't improved, we're going to have to admit you to an inpatient program.
Yeah.
Because otherwise you will die. And so I don't know why. And then they were like, here, take this Vyvanse.
Here.
Oh,
So
you're
we-
having
we-
problems with ADHD too? Here, I can do something about that. I can fix that. And so they gave me the Vyvanse, and to nobody's surprise, whenever I took it, I felt like I was a robot.
Yeah.
And it felt very. I couldn't laugh at anything. I had to laugh at things voluntarily. Like, even things that used to be funny to me, I just could not laugh at stuff. I was not
God,
happy.
that's awful.
I was not sad. Nothing made me sad. Sad things happened. Stressful things happened. They continued to happen. I just didn't feel anything in response to it. I felt completely numb.
Oh my
And
God.
it was awful because I was like, I don't feel human. I don't feel like I'm myself. And I feel like I want to kill myself. But I'm not depressed. And I'm not sad. And I'm not crying. And I haven't felt upset in a very long time. But I still want to kill myself.
That's
Yeah,
good.
it was
That's
scary.
really awful.
Yeah, so I stopped taking it.
Well,
Obviously.
yeah, thank God.
So
I mean,
and to anyone who's listening to this who is on Vyvanse, this is not. I'm not trying to stop you from taking it. This is my personal experience with it because I was dealing with a lot. Keep in mind, I was dealing with a lot of other things at the time too, and the medication just seemed to worsen it. So if you're in a good headspace, otherwise, it shouldn't make you want to kill yourself. You should be fine. But I just, yeah, I had a horrible experience with it. And it made me, Vyvanse is also an appetite suppressant, which is the other reason why I don't know why they gave it to me after learning that I was already underweight. Because they're like, you need to eat, but here's this medication that will make you not want to eat. Yeah, I love American healthcare. It's great. Just
that's insane. I mean, like, that's I've never experienced anything like that
Really?
before when on medication.
yeah. Well, I guess I just don't do well with dexamphetamine then.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I mean,
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe if they'd given me something else, like Adderall, which is a stimulant, maybe I would have done better. I don't know. It would have. I just. It's a different. It just felt weird, not
I
being
can-
able to feel
yeah.
anything, and people would continue to piss me off at school, but I didn't feel pissed off, and my assignments continued to loom over my head and stress me out, but I didn't feel stressed out. And I would go and do fun things, and I would go and do exciting things and spend time with people that I loved, but I didn't feel like I loved them, and I didn't feel excited when I did. I didn't feel like I was having fun when I did those fun things. I didn't want to do anything anymore. Nothing brought me joy. Yeah. I just felt like I wasn't even there. I felt like I was in a constant state of dissociation every day from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to sleep.
yeah, that's and I mean, this is not saying that everybody experiences. This is just
Yeah, it's just what I experienced on Vyvanse in conjunction with everything else I was already going through at the time, and then the medication just seemed to exacerbate it. That's all. Not to sway you from taking medication for your ADHD, because it does work for some people.
Yes, yeah,
And some people can take it long term, and for other people, it causes side effects. And sometimes those side effects are mild, and sometimes those side effects make you want to kill yourself. So, yeah.
yeah. Fun. It's fun.
But
fun topics.
still try it out if you're considering it. Just try it out. If you can afford it and you're considering it.
Medication, not
Yeah, medication. Don't kill yourself.
Kill yourself.
Please don't try that out.
No, seriously. Like,
'Cause
I'm
there's-
jokingly.
yeah, there's-
there are people out there who care about you, and
Yeah, there's-
you're all great.
There's no free trial for suicide. It's just it's a one and done thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't test it out for yourself. Don't try that. Don't try this at home, kids. Please.
I mean, if you're comfortable going a bit deeper into that kind of stuff, I mean, I have not had. I do believe that I have depression. I know I don't have it as bad as you, at least used to, because I don't want to speak for you.
I know.
I also don't know what you're comfortable sharing, so I don't want to say
that's
anything,
fine.
and you. But you have harmed yourself before.
So I've got Jacob's ladder on my arm. Like literally, it goes.
You're not even Christian.
I know. I know.
Um,
I have drawn. You saw me draw a ladder with my
I think
scars
so.
once. Yes, and I drew a little guy on it. He was climbing up. I love doing that stuff. I should get a tattoo over it, but like not one that covers it up. One that like makes it really funny.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
because that kind of stuff shows that what you've been through
And what I've gone
survived.
through to get here
Yeah.
where I am today.
Yeah.
And it is hard to look at my arm sometimes. And remember why I did that to myself. Yeah.
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 Um,
Oh, I thought
But
you were gonna
it's-
say it back to me again.
but it's good. It's good that you're here now and you've made it through all that bad stuff, and there's
And I don't think it ever really got better. I mean, some things did in some aspects, and then other things got worse. It's just that I'm more resilient now,
yeah,
and I'm better at handling it.
mental
Circumstances didn't improve, but I did.
yeah,
Yeah.
mental health doesn't really get better. You just learn how to deal with it.
Yeah. And it does get better.
Yeah,
Your mental health
but-
does get better, but your situation doesn't always improve. But if there is one guarantee, it's that you will get better at handling it.
If of course you handle it in healthy ways.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, because I mean,
Things like that.
self-destructive coping mechanisms are just that. They're self-destructive. I mean, that's not going
Yeah.
to help you in the long run, just in the short term.
yeah, I myself have never hurt myself in that way before. I'm not saying that I've never had those kinds of thoughts, but and I agree with my dad is a fantastic person, and he even said he didn't mean any offense by it, but I completely agree with him. I'm lazy about it. I would never go through with taking my own life or harming myself in a way. Also because I'm scared. I don't like pain.
I feel
I
like
mean,
for you, I don't know if I agree with your dad on that one. I mean, if you agree with him, okay. But
lazy
I don't
isn't
think
the
that
word
lazy
that I
is
would
the right
use.
word.
Yeah, use.
I think that you're more fearful of it than anything, and not like, oh well, I guess I'll kill myself. I'll do it tomorrow.
I'll do it
whatever.
tomorrow.
I don't have the energy for it today.
Yeah. Yeah, I've definitely had those kinds of thoughts before, but I don't think I could ever do it. Because every time I thought about those kinds of things, I'm like, because I have two brothers, and I had always been like, but how would they feel? Because they're younger than me. I am the oldest. I am the firstborn, and just I always think about, but how would they feel? Like, what would happen if they
Sorry,
they were.
Really quick, the way that you said that, you were like, I'm the firstborn. And I was going to say, that means that they'll sacrifice you first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I always thought about them when that kind of stuff came up in my head. I'm sure if we do get Xander as a guest and he is willing to talk about those kinds of things, I will go more in depth about, the things that I experienced. I just it's kind of coming on hard for for a pilot episode.
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like a chill podcast.
Yeah. While we casually lay our souls bare for all
Yeah.
to see. Yeah.
Yeah, it's mental health is scary, but I mean, as long as you have people with you,
Good people.
good people. It's good people are hard to find,
Yeah.
especially with the internet
Yeah.
and
Quality
TikTok.
over quality over quantity.
yeah. I only have really you and Xander, and
I also have
that.
you and Xander.
So I mean, it's not, and I like that. I like that's fine with me, and it's all I really need because you, other than my family, you two are the most supportive of my activities and the things that I do, and I appreciate all of that. Yeah. Again, if you are having those kinds of thoughts, please talk to somebody, anybody, because you may think that nobody understands how you feel. Millions of people understand how you feel.
I don't like saying it that way. No one will ever understand how you feel exactly because every person on this planet is going through something entirely unique to them. No one will ever understand the inner reaches of your mind or what you've been through on a personal level the way that you do. But almost always somebody has gone through something similar enough that they can sympathize with you, even if they may not understand completely. What time is it? Okay. Even if they may not understand completely, but it's still good to reach out to those people. Yeah.
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 Um,
And I feel like I had something else to say, and then I lost my train of thought.
yeah, it's
Someone does love and care about you, though, out
Yes.
there. It's not me, but someone does.
what the heck?
No, I'm kidding. I do. I think that this world is a better place with you in it. And I think that this world is a better place with you in it.
She just pointed to me.
Yes.
I just, nobody should ever feel like they have to
I didn't point to you. I pointed to your shirt.
take themselves away from this planet to feel like it would make it a better place, because that's not true. Yeah.
I don't know. I heard one time I was at church when I was a little, and some guy who he was a regular there, and he killed himself, and we had a service about it one Sunday, and we held a silent vigil for him, and for a few minutes, and I remember when we walked out, and I can't remember if it was my grandma on my mom's side, not Jonella, but my grandma on my mom's side, or my mom, as we walked out that day, and she said something about how committing suicide was selfish. And I think that's a poor choice of words. I think that on some level, I agree Because there are other people that value your life and you being here, other than yourself. And when you sorry,
Yeah, when you
it's not the selfish thing to do necessarily, but it is. I wouldn't call it selfish, but it is horrifically unfair to the people around you.
yeah.
And whether you realize it or not, when you leave this mortal plane, either by your own hand or someone or something else, the people that knew you before, that will have an effect on them. And I can't say what kind of effect or to what extent, because I don't know your life. Yeah.
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 It's it's that kind of stuff is important. So talk to somebody.
Yeah. Talk to your dog or your cat.
Yeah, literally anybody. If
Talk to a tree. Trees are really good at listening. They're so good at listening. All they do is stand there, and they just.
I'm sure they gossip though.
Oh, for sure. Oh my God, be careful talking to trees, guys. They got a whole underground root network. They just that's all they do all the time. They
Yeah.
just gossip with each other constantly. They finger each other with their roots
Okay.
all day.
Yeah. I on the topic while we're still at it. I would say that as of this moment right now, I'm still in the best mental state that I have ever been in. There was a person in my life that there were two people in, well, there's one person in my life that
Sorry.
you're fine. You're fine. That treated me poorly, said things to me and called me things that I had to live with. I had to live with that person. Not my dad. My dad is a great person.
Your dad's awesome. I called him a celebrity guest earlier for a reason.
Yeah.
I love your dad.
And then, you have people who were your friends and then they change over time, and it's kind of jarring when that kind of stuff happens. I mean, it was jarring for all of us to kind of watch that happen. Not that they didn't do anything to themselves. They just changed in a way that we were surprised to see. Personality wise.
Yeah.
And cutting that person out in my life and being able to stay away from that figure that I had to live with is good. It's good. I know 2020 was an awful year for a lot of people, but that year was the best one for my mental health, and it's been pretty good ever since. And I'm glad to be here today and making the things that I try to make. And yeah, it's good stuff.
Well, you try and succeed.
Well, sometimes.
No. You're too hard on yourself. High school changes people, though.
Oh God, yeah, high school. Oh,
With that one person who shall not be named for legal reasons, for privacy reasons.
Yes, for privacy reasons.
Yes.
Those are.
Not for legal reasons. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, for privacy reasons. Privacy.
Yeah, it's important. We don't want anybody to.
Yeah.
We don't want anybody to, you know,
I'm not gonna,
see this
yeah,
as
I'm not
harmful
gonna,
or
yeah,
anything.
I'm not gonna
It's
name
just-
drop people. I mean, what's done is done. It's in the past.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Uh,
Jeff Bezos.
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 Yeah, well, he's billionaire scum. I'm not gonna bother pronouncing his name right. I don't care.
Yeah. What about you then? How would you say your mental health is doing at the moment?
I'd say comparatively from the rest of my life, or comparatively up until this point, I'm on average doing better than I ever have. I mean, other than when I was a kid. Like a really little kid, because I mean, I don't think
Well,
anything I could do from this point forward could ever compare to the
Yeah, I mean,
the unbridled joy that I felt as a 3-year-old.
I mean,
but
you can say that for anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
everybody is, because you're innocent and you don't understand anything. and
yeah,
then
and
you grow
like,
up and
things,
you find
yeah,
out
things
the
just,
world is awful.
Yeah, you don't understand anything and nothing, and everything just kind of slides right off you like a smooth stone. 3-year-olds are cool. They're cool like that. 3-year-old me was cool like that. But I'm doing a lot better
It's good.
than I used to.
Yeah.
But like I said, things haven't really gotten better, but I've gotten better at dealing with those things. And the issues that I used to deal with, that used to make me feel suicidal and make me want to hurt myself. I mean, those issues have all gone, and they've all gone, and they've passed, and
Yeah,
now I'm dealing with new, fresh issues. fresh
adulting.
Yes, fresh out the oven.
How long have you not I just don't want to use that word.
Cut myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have I been clean? I've I stopped cutting the summer of 7th grade, or like the summer after 7th grade, so 8th grade and up.
Which was
that doesn't mean that I stopped hurting myself, but that's when I stopped digging into my skin with a knife. So that was, how old was I in 7th grade? Like 13, 14. I would think I was 14 when I stopped.
it's been quite a
So,
while.
6 years, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I don't think they'll ever go away, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're my buddies now. My scars, I got the whole party on my arm.
Well,
I should draw little faces on them.
oh my God. Just dots above them, so they're just
Yeah.
like.
Straight mouthed. Straight mouths.
Well, that's good.
Who said I was done?
I'm sorry. Goodness. You said I was hosting. Oh my God. I mean, yeah. Do you have anything else to you want to talk about or bring up or anything?
I mean, a lot of stuff happened. It's difficult. Well, my life started. It all started when I was born, and
It all started the day I was born.
it all started the day I was born.
I was born at a very young age.
I was born at a very young age.
Doofenshmirtz does not say
I know
that.
he did. We were already talking about. I was born at a very young age. A platypus. Perry the platypus. But I am almost 99% sure that I was raised in a cult. And the thing with the thing with cults is that not all of them are like little rural villages out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
with like
it's not like
with like a mega church in the
it's
middle
not
or
like
something.
how the media portrays it.
Yeah,
a lot of it,
a lot
or
of,
like a lot of games.
a lot of
it
cults
is-
are like that. A lot of religious cults are like that, where they're like secluded and there's like one very charismatic leader who's
Yeah.
going to lead all of his sheeple to salvation.
I think it would
there's
it would be great to get my mom
yes
on here to talk about that kind of
Yes.
stuff because
we could talk about it. We could both talk about it because that's a good
yeah,
that's a good
because you
topic for an
you guys
episode.
while not being a part of the same
yeah
the
she
same
was-
place.
yeah
Um,
hers was like a very recognized cult.
yes, so-
people know it's a cult.
So for the people who, I don't think I've ever said this before on any form of media, but my mom was in the Worldwide Church of God, is what it
That's
was
what it
called.
was called?
Yeah, I had asked her. That's what.
Okay.
That's what it was called.
Yeah, and they wouldn't let her drink coffee.
She didn't like Santa.
Yeah.
she didn't.
Yeah.
She didn't like Santa. But that's if we do, I do.
Didn't they make her eat vegetarian?
That's something that we'll have to ask her because I don't.
Okay,
I don't.
'cause I
know.
think she said something
I
about
think getting
that,
my
yeah.
mom would be also just
Yeah, that would be
a great
cool,
one.
that'd be cool.
Because just a warning to anybody who's listening to this, while we are not atheists, we do not follow Christianity or Catholicism.
I believe in God, but he is not my homie. Yeah.
Not saying that you can't believe in that
God's
stuff.
cool, and if you're Christian and it works for you, and you don't feel like it's hindering your life or any way, or making
Or
you-
hindering anybody else's
or hindering
life.
anybody else's life. That's
That's
the most
another
important thing.
important
if
thing.
it's not, if your religion is not encroaching on anybody else's livelihood, you do you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you love God, if you love Jesus, and you have Jesus in your heart, and it's improving your quality of life significantly, and it's also not harming anybody else, continue to do so. But that's just Jesus doesn't he just doesn't do it for me. Yeah, he's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Not my cup of wine. Not my glass of wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Jesus is cool though. He's a cool guy. I just don't really like. There's a very. I was gonna say loud minority, but really it is a majority of his fan base that I really just don't like.
yes.
Yeah.
That's a topic for another day.
Yeah.
Something that we can get into at some
Yeah.
other point. Get political.
Get political.
Get religious.
Yeah. The other thing that pisses me off about Christians in the West is that they always depict him as a white man. Pisses me off. Just
You love-
how pasty they make him, because it's like he's a Middle Eastern man.
Yeah, you love Prince of Egypt, don't you? And that's
Did they make? Well, I do love Prince of Egypt, but I forget how they do they show God in that.
there's something about the tornado. I've never seen it
haven't seen
before,
it in
and
so
I
many
don't.
years.
Who's it based off of? What's the story that it's based off of?
The plagues.
No,
What?
the whole Prince
Oh,
of
the
Egypt
Prince of
movie.
Oh, sorry. Moses.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes. I don't know. I mean, they have the tornado, the big fiery tornado,
Yeah.
the wall, fire, something. It's been-
The what?
I watched a lot of VeggieTales. That's
The burning bush.
no,
Is that what you mean?
no. There's wasn't there like God had done like a big fire tornado to stop people from crossing a certain threshold. I think that might be a different thing I'm thinking of.
I don't
But I
know.
swear I remember.
That's not ringing a bell. But then again, I don't remember all of the
Let me.
fire tornado, Bible fire tornado.
I think I'm incorrect. I think I'm thinking of something else.
Pooter.
Yeah, right here.
Oh.
This thing.
Oh, okay. Oh, I remember that now.
What? Oh, the red. Yeah, it's during the Red Sea when he's parting the Red Sea.
I don't
and
remember the
I
fire
think,
tornado.
I think God
from the...
sends down the fire tornado to stop the people chasing him.
Do they depict him as a Middle Eastern man?
God?
Yes.
No,
yes.
I don't know.
Oh, well.
But everybody
I do love
there
the Prince
is.
Of Egypt,
I mean,
that's my main gripe with Christians in the West is that they
isn't
always
that the
depict
movie
him as a
with
white
the
man.
hot, with one of the hot
And
Disney people?
If anything, if he has any, what? Are you thinking of Atlantis?
Maybe. Oop, I can't spell.
Or no? Are you thinking of
I can't remember
The Road to El Dorado?
Oh, I think
with,
so.
With Chell. I love Chell.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's Chell. They were gonna make her outfit even skimpier, if you can believe it. That's her less skimpy outfit. The more kid-appropriate outfit.
Early Disney.
That's DreamWorks, is it not?
Is it?
Yeah.
I have to look it up again.
Yeah.
Rhoda.
Rhoda to El.
Sure. Let's. Yes, DreamWorks.
It is. Yeah.
I didn't know that. I thought it was Disney. I mean, it is Disney now.
I love DreamWorks.
DreamWorks it belongs to Disney now.
It does?
Yeah, that's how they own Toy Story. That's how they're allowed to have Toy Story
No, Toy Story is
Disney
Pixar.
World.
Toy Story is Pixar.
You're right.
Yes.
You're right. So they own
DreamWorks and Disney are competitors.
Yes.
Okay.
Who's winning?
We got
we'll see.
I don't
Actually,
know.
I would
Maybe
say
the
DreamWorks
maybe
right
the
now.
multi-million-dollar company.
I would say DreamWorks is winning right now.
Disney.
The Last Wish, Puss in Boots. Ugh, way better than like every Marvel movie that has come out recently.
Puss in Boots.
It's so good. I'm ready for Shrek 5. I'm excited for Shrek 5. I hope it's good.
Yes. Speaking of Puss in Boots, mental health. And speaking of mental health, this podcast episode, we're back on track.
That is actually genius.
Yes.
Brilliant segue.
Yes.
We have about 15 minutes left,
Puss
so
in
I mean
Boots,
we can bring this in.
No. I can stay a little later. I can keep going a little longer.
Okay.
Okay.
But yeah, The Last Wish does a very, very good job at showing very real panic attacks.
Yes.
And if you haven't seen it, watch it. If you can't, I'm sorry. But if you watch, it is such a good movie.
It's it's visceral the way that they depict it, but not so visceral in a way that it's not appropriate for kids. And I think that they toe that line very well. I think that they toe the line between being kid friendly and being accurate and genuine with the way that Puss experiences anxiety and repressed emotion very well, considering it is a family-friendly film.
Yes,
it's very good.
So, quick synopsis for anybody who hasn't seen the movie. Kind of spoilers here. In the Puss in Boots is on his last life. He's lost all 8, or 9.
He's on his last life, so it would be,
he's
lost 8 out of 9.
Well, but some people say that he has 10 lives. That's the whole thing about him.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, he's on his last life.
He's on his last life, and he's not taking it seriously.
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm Puss in Boots. I'll never die.
Yeah.
And and then he comes face to face with a bounty hunter. Again, spoilers, which we later find out is actually.
But don't spoil it. Don't spoil it completely.
Well, I said spoilers. I warned them. Well, we later find out that
doesn't have spoilers.
We later find out that he is Death. The bounty hunter that has been chasing him is Death.
He's deaf. He can't hear. Guys.
Death. He is Death straight up. That's what he said. Straight up. And eventually Puss comes to terms with the fact that he's on his last life. He's lived a great one. Mm-hmm. And that he accepts that he's on it, and it's very good. Mm-hmm. All the the voice talent in that movie is fantastic. The voice actor, I think, well, I need to look up his name.
For Death?
Yes,
Is he Puerto Rican?
I believe so. I don't want to say that. Wagner Moira.
I think so.
I don't want to. I don't know. Let me.
Well, yeah. Go find his name. And
We are currently on IMDb right now.
We're getting so sidetracked.
It's fine. I mean, we're still kind of on track.
Yeah,
I mean,
Wagner.
where?
Yeah, there.
Right there.
Yep, the wolf. In Salvador, a city in
Brazil was a
located-
sergeant in Brazil. Oh, he was from. Oh,
Rodelas
and his
Bahia.
father was a sergeant of the Brazilian Air Force.
He's Brazilian?
No, it just says his father. Oh yeah, no, he is. He is
he's
Brazilian.
Rodelas Bahia, Brazil. Yep.
Oh, cool. But I don't think it's his first voice acting job, but he did fantastic. I mean,
Yes.
oh yeah, he's been in a lot of things.
Oh gosh.
He's been
Well,
in
he
quite
did
a-
great.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
His the music in that movie is also just fantastic. All that, I love that movie a lot.
I would like to talk a little bit, like touch base a little bit on I don't know. I could do a whole overview of like the main things that I struggled with throughout my childhood or throughout my and adolescence.
Why don't we try to get Xander on for an episode?
Okay.
And I think that would just be a good episode to go like truly in depth
Yeah.
with those kinds of things, because
Well, I'm not saying I'm going to go in depth, but
No,
not
I
right now. I
understand
just
that.
meant like an overview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Wait.
I mean, there's some good media out there that
Yes.
shows different kinds of mental health things. I'm trying to think of another one. Shira does kind of good with autism, I mean. Right? Wouldn't you?
Shira does. Oh, I love Entrapta. She's one of my favorite characters of all time. I love her
Entrapta
so
is a character from
She's-
Shira, and she is
Yes.
canonically autistic,
yes,
right?
she is. The creator confirmed that she was indeed written to be autistic, and I'm not saying that she's the be all end all of autism representation in
Yes.
media, but the show does a very good job of portraying one
Would you?
portrayal of autism and
you-
somebody of an autistic person. Yes.
Would you also say that both Peridot and Pearl from Steven Universe are also pretty good representations of
Oh, for
different
sure.
kinds of autism
Oh yes. Pearl.
and lesbianism in
I mean, both She-Ra and
Oh yeah,
Steven
I mean,
Universe tick both those boxes, but and just queerness in general. Because I mean, they're not technically lesbians because they're all non-binary.
correct.
Yeah,
but
they use she/her pronouns. The gems do, but they're all non-binary because they're aliens. So I mean, they can't really have a gender because I mean their society doesn't have a concept of gender. They're all the same thing. So, but Pearl, I mean her I don't know, just her resistance to change and the way that
OCD.
No, she doesn't have OCD because it's not a compulsion thing, but she likes to have things a very particular way, and if they get moved out of place,
you are very
then
much like that.
Yes, that's a symptom of my autism, and that's why I relate to Pearl a lot, because if you look at her room in the gyms like hideout, she has everything is very organized and very pristine and placed in a very particular way. She loves to have things in a very particular order, and if things are removed from their order that she has worked so very hard to place it in, things go, she gets very upset. And I think in one episode that happened, I think Steven visited her room, and somehow, some way, something was moved out of place, and it was a whole thing, and she got upset about it.
Yeah.
And but I relate to that a lot. Also, she's kind of neurotic. She has this neuroticism about her, and I relate to that as someone with anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's just a very good character. I love her.
Um,
And Peridot too. I think Peridot, if I had to slap a diagnosis on her, and I'm not trying to armchair diagnose cartoon characters here,
Yeah.
but I mean, knowing myself and then seeing Peridot as her character and the way that she presents, I'm pretty sure she would have ADHD and autism. The combo pack.
yeah.
Yeah. She, for sure, because she's a little gremlin. I love her. Yeah.
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 When we're like several episodes deep into this podcast, you should just like clip every time we say yeah, yeah,
Sure.
yeah, back to each other, and then compile it all into one video. That would be so funny.
And I guess on the topic of Steven Universe, and like I have told you before, while I love that show, I can never watch it again.
Because you said that you have a problem with escapism.
I have pretty bad problems with escapism. I also really liked Star versus the Forces of Evil, but I also can never watch that show again because it affected me in a way that made me disassociate an incredible amount. Like maybe I could like watch an episode a week, but I cannot like
Watch it
binge
all at
episodes.
once, yeah.
I cannot binge episodes
I'm like
because
that too with shows and games and media that I get super absorbed into and immersed in. Because if I sink too deep, then I dissociate from everything else around me. I'm kind of like that too. And then I'm like, oh, that was great. I never want to do it again.
yeah, it's pretty bad for me. Yeah, because like I don't know. It's definitely some kind of escapism thing. It's just I feel really, really out of it when I'm done
Do you
watching
remember
a lot
watching it when you were in a poor headspace, or
No,
no?
I mean Star maybe.
Okay.
I mean maybe because it's one of those shows. Because I could watch Gravity Falls again. Because Gravity Falls is weird all the time. But I kind of also had it with Persona 5.
Yeah.
It was major spoilers, not for the Royal Dungeon, but for the vanilla final boss. There's just major spoilers. If you don't want to know the name of the final boss for the vanilla game, skip ahead like 2 minutes from now. Again, so you have until 3, 2, 1. So
Ooga booga.
Ooga booga. So when you had to deal with Yaldabaoth, that was very, very weird for me. It was very surreal, not in like a bad way. It was just like I feel very weird and out of it.
Okay. Was it the visuals or just
No,
everything?
it was just I don't know. It's the same thing I think I just love that kind of concept because the same thing happens in Spider-Man 2. The kind of like apocalyptic. This thing is taking over this section of like a city. when I was playing Spider-Man 2, the same kind of thing
happened.
And I don't know if that was disassociation. It was just this weird feeling. I don't know how to describe it.
Oh.
But yeah, I definitely. And have you heard of shifting? Do you know what shifting is?
Oh my god! don't bring that up here. 'Cause
Oh,
I have a
if
whole-
to anyone listening, now is you're now
God.
fine to listen again for Persona 5 spoilers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
That is the only time I will ever talk about Persona 5 spoilers. I will continue to talk about Persona 5.
Shifting is just. Oh my! I remember when that was a huge thing. I don't know if it still is a huge thing.
I think I don't know if it's still like popular, but I believe that people
I
would
remember
still
when
do it.
the internet, TikTok mainly, went through like a whole. There was a whole epidemic of like teenage girls who were like, guys,
It was
I
meant
shifted to the
to
Harry-
Hogwarts.
I shifted to
I
Hogwarts.
shifted to Hogwarts.
And Draco Malfoy
Hold on,
and I are
wait.
dating now.
Yeah,
Oh my
I
God.
shifted to Hogwarts.
just that thing.
Draco Malfoy is packing.
Don't do that. What was oh my gosh, wasn't there one that was making fun of the whole trend, and it was like, guys, I shifted to Hogwarts and I'll never do that again because I just saw Dobby and he was clapping his tiny little elf.
That
cheek.
was Curtis Connor.
Oh, it was.
Yes.
I was
So
like,
I
I
think
feel
the
like
whole-
that was Curtis, but I don't know.
I think the whole thing is I just shifted to Hogwarts and Dobby was shaking his something elf bussy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Curtis. That was
His
Curtis
little
Connor
elf-
that
his
did
elf-
that.
his little elf bussy.
I-
Oh my god. Dobby and his elf bussy. That's the next Harry Potter book. It's the spin-off. It's the spin-off. Dobby.
Wait, no,
Dobby.
she's making more. Did you know that?
Oh my god. Please,
Yeah,
somebody just
well,
euthanize her,
no.
please.
But I mean, Harry Potter is. I don't know about the movies, but I have heard very good things about the books.
If you know what people know about her now and just how
Has she done worse things?
there's just so many racist. I'm sorry, I'll just leave it there.
Probably for the best.
There's so many racist
There's so many racists.
depictions of like foreign characters in her books. Like
Really?
one of the characters is like an exchange student who's Asian. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I've personally never read all of the books.
Neither have I.
Because I don't have that kind of time on my hands and I have better things to do. But I honestly feel like the movies are better than the books. And I'm not just saying that because she's a transphobe and a homophobe, but also just because that's genuinely my opinion. I like the movies better, and I also like Daniel Radcliffe.
I mean, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, shifting is.
And I respect him a lot for never wanting to associate or work with J.K. Rowling
all
ever
of
again.
them.
I mean,
No.
most of the cast will never work with her.
One of
again.
them can't because they're dead.
Well, thanks for letting me know.
I do that every time.
Don't tell me who, please.
What?
Is it Dumbledore?
No, it's Snape. He's been dead for several years now.
I didn't know that.
You didn't?
No.
He has been dead for several. He was in
Snape?
Galaxy Quest.
Oh my god.
He's the guy that's supposed to be the alien.
Guys, we need to end this episode here. I need to go grieve.
It's been so long.
I just didn't know. When did Snape's actor die?
He died in 2016.
2 days after my birthday.
Oh my
Alan
god, this does not
Rickman.
look like him.
Alan, oh my god, it doesn't. Alan Rickman.
It's probably just his hair. I'm sure if his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, because I can see it
Yeah,
there.
I can see it.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but this old news. It's.
Oh my god. Jesus Christ. I'll never get over this.
But shifting in itself is very, very unhealthy.
Oh yeah.
It is
Yeah.
incredibly
It's a
unhealthy.
Horrible It's like maladaptive daydreaming turned up to 100. Because not only are you maladaptive daydreaming,
What is that for the people who don't know?
It's when you
which means
daydream.
me.
It's when you daydream as a poor coping mechanism, and you do it so often, and you use it as an escape from your own life so often that it becomes a hindrance. Like you can't. Like your daydreams start overlapping onto your real life, like augmented reality, and
Wow.
it gets
That's-
scary. Because you
can't tell what's real.
Yeah, you start daydreaming so often that it just becomes you can't tell what's real
Do
and
you
what's
remember?
fake anymore.
Do you remember when we played What Remains of Edith Finch?
Yes, I do.
I think the older brother
Yeah.
character
Yes.
did do that. He had the. We're spoiling a lot of things right now.
It's fine. I mean,
spoilers
What
for
Remains of Edith
What
Finch has
Remains
been
of
out-
Edith Finch.
Has been out for a while.
Correct,
so.
but even if people who haven't played it, warning, that game will destroy you.
the
that-
bathtub scene. With
Oh my god,
the baby.
Even walking into the
Oh.
room after playing it with you, like,
Yeah.
because that was the second time that I had played it, was tough for me. You will come out of it
Oh my
being like,
God.
what the fuck? What the fuck? Why did I play that?
Yeah.
And it's like an hour or 2 hours at
It was
most.
a good experience.
It
though.
is.
Yes.
Um,
What did the little brother or what
The-
did the older brother do? What had happened to him?
he had the fish job, and
Oh yeah. He was a victim of maladaptive daydreaming.
so he believed his life was very boring, and to be
Yeah.
fair, it
Just
was.
he just kept zoning out at work so much and building up this empire in his head where
Literal
empire where he was the center of everyone's attention, and everything always went right for him, and everything was so much more interesting than his boring job at the slaughterhouse or wherever, the butcher's
fish
the
thing.
butcher's block or whatever the fuck he
And
worked at.
eventually,
And-
when he was to be crowned king, in his head, he put his head down, and
The guillotine came
the
down
guillotine
and
came down.
sliced
That
off
would
his
chop
head.
the head fish came out and chopped his head off.
Yeah.
It's that game is very good. Also with showing kind of mental health
Oh, yeah.
and things like that.
Yes.
It's very good
God.
in that sense.
Oh God.
Yeah, that game is depressing.
It is.
Again, if you haven't played it, go into it with a good mindset.
Yeah, make sure
because
that you
that
are
game
mentally well before you play it, because you will come out the other side significantly worse than you started. So you might as well start at the top, so that you don't end up at rock bottom. You end up
Correct.
like halfway to rock bottom, which is a lot better.
Yeah, that game is tough.
It will break you.
And it's honestly just kind of a walking simulator.
Yeah.
But I
It's
mean
very
there are some funny parts in it,
Yeah.
like the famous sister, the
Yeah.
comic one. That one's kind of
That
funny.
one was kind of lighthearted, other than the fact that she got
Yeah, I mean she
Yeah.
got kidnapped, I
Yeah,
think is
which
what
isn't
was to
funny,
be said.
but it was comical in the way that it was portrayed up until the point where you realize, oh yeah, she's whoops.
Yeah.
She got kidnapped.
Yeah, that game
Yeah.
it's fantastic. It's just it's so depressing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and the games don't have to be fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes games are there to
Tell a story.
tell a story.
Mm-hmm.
That one does tell a story. It tells several stories. What's another very good game that does that? It's
That, related to mental health.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's I don't know. There's a game that I'm trying to think of that I can't remember.
We'll just go back to thinking of all forms of media. What's another?
Persona 3.
Persona 3, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Xander could definitely talk about Persona 3.
Yeah.
We'll
Let
it's
him
his
talk
favorite
about
game.
That. We'll let him talk your ears off
Um,
about that.
Yeah, Persona 3 is a very good game about mental health. I mean,
We'll tell him in advance. He'll prepare a whole essay.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a very good game about it, about mental health and the struggles of that. And
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I'm trying to think of what. Oh, Omori.
Oh yes, Omori is fantastic. Omori is great at that as well. Omori is escapism the game.
Yes,
Pretty much.
escapism the game.
We will not be spoiling that one.
No, because
there's not really that
Yeah.
much.
That's
There's only a big thing that you can spoil, and it's kind of easy not to spoil it. I mean,
yeah.
it's
a-
made very clear from the
It's
start that it's
definitely-
all in.
It's definitely one of those games that you'd want to go into blind.
Oh, also
Yes.
Doki Doki is not about, well, a part of it is about mental health, but Doki Doki is also just a fantastic game that if you haven't played it, go into blind.
Yes.
Oh my god, it is.
It's so good.
We should do an episode where we both make lists of like our favorite things. Like, what's your favorite blank, and we should try and guess what
Oh yeah,
what
yeah,
the
yeah.
others
Yes,
is.
yes.
I think that would be great.
Oh, can we get the tortillas out too?
The what?
The tortillas.
What are you talking about?
So if we get it wrong, we get to slap each other.
Oh my god. No.
Please.
I'll think about it. I'll
Okay.
think about it.
Yay.
And that could be one that you host. You could be like, "Hey, make the list," and then I'll just have that,
Oh wait,
and you'll
Nerf
have
guns.
to.
Nerf guns.
Oh my
I'll just
god,
shoot you
I
in the
do have
forehead.
Nerf guns.
Yes, you do.
No, there's a bunch of fun stuff
get
that
the
I have
chancla.
ideas for. What?
I'll get the chancla.
What?
The chancla. I'll just
What?
hit you over the head with a
What is that?
with a shoe.
Oh.
With a, with a
oh.
slipper.
The Asian, the Asian
No, wrong.
treatment. Oh. The Japanese mom, the Chinese mom
No.
treatment.
No, that's not the chancla. That's not the chancla.
Not
treatment.
just I was just talking about the slipper.
I feel like that's more so in Hispanic families.
You think so?
Well, I mean, chancla.
Oh,
is
oh, yeah.
Spanish.
But yeah, yeah, mental health is a very serious thing.
Yeah.
And I know we've said it like 5 times already, but we'll say it again. If you're struggling with mental health, I'll probably put there's going to be a warning on this video.
Yeah. We get into
But
some very dark
I will
subject
put
matter.
the suicide hotline number
Yeah.
in the description of this video.
The obligatory.
I'm sure
the
YouTube
obligatory
will also-
resources, Yes.
Yeah. Don't get BetterHelp.
Please. don't.
BetterHelp
It
while
it
it-
underpays and overworks its therapists
and sells all of your information. Do not do BetterHelp.
Yeah, and I've heard so many horror stories of people who've used BetterHelp. I feel like the people that it works for are in the minority from what I've seen. But usually there's, in almost every city, or at least nearby cities, there's almost always a place near where you live that offers therapy on a sliding scale according to your financial needs. So if you don't get paid a lot, your bill also won't be a lot. It just depends on how much you make. So you don't have to pay, $80 a session, because that gets expensive.
Yeah.
And is really out of the question for a lot of people. But there are options if you look for it and if therapy is too expensive, and even that, even a sliding scale is out of the question. Support groups are free. I know that the internet is free for most people. I mean, it's not exactly free. But I mean, if you're listening to this, then you have access to the internet. And there are support groups and people who are going through similar things to you who would welcome you with open arms if you ever felt so inclined to reach out to them. They would reach out back.
Yeah.
And the internet's kind of beautiful in that way. There's so many people from all sorts of walks of life. And if that's not your cup of tea and you don't feel comfortable with sharing your thoughts and feelings with strangers on the internet, I understand. Go outside. I hate to be like touch grass, but
yeah, going outside is good. Getting sun has been proven to
not that
be
it's going
to be good for mental health.
Again, not that it's going to cure your depressive and suicidal thoughts. Never, ever. But it's one little thing amongst many little things that you can do to make it a little more bearable, while you find the answer, because I don't have all the answers. And that's going to be specific to you. Thanks. He just pushed my face toward the mic. Yeah. I care about you. I care about everyone. And when I see that people have killed themselves on the news, I do get sad. Or when people have died or committed suicide, it does make me sad. And I can never really care for a stranger the same way that I can care for someone that I know intimately. But you are loved and you are cared for. Even if it's only by the sun and the earth.
Yeah.
Or the sky that cares for you and loves you. I don't know. Maybe all your loved ones are dead.
Okay.
I hope you have pets and that I'm sure that they love and care for you. And if you don't, then I love you. And I hope that you're doing okay. And if you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, I haven't really found it either, but I'm sure that we will find it one day together.
With that, I would like to thank everybody who listened to this, everybody who took the time out of their day to listen to us be extremely serious for
an hour and 40
for almost
minutes,
2 hours.
An hour and 39 minutes and 13, 14, 15, 16 seconds exactly.
Thank you all for joining us here at the cafe, and
Yes.
we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Next time, Sydney will bring the topic.
Yes.
I have no clue what that's gonna be.
Closing time. Get the fuck out.
Get the fuck out.